know for Hacker, it's about playing up towards these top 2 lanes. Sure, you have Prio and bot lane that, I mean, theoretically you could maybe like invade or get some deep vision, but I don't really think there's anything tangible you can turn that into. It's about really enabling the Renekton and the Tristana to come through to where, for Shallow Bow, I feel like it's about counter pressure. You have these lanes like Tristana are playing very far forward and aggressive. You have a CC set up there. You always have the potential to look to punish their aggression if you know where Hacker is.
Yeah. Shallenbauer will jump over towards his red buff, but sees Hacker on the ward there as Hacker trying to threaten an invade. Smite available for Shallenbauer. In fact, no, not an invade. He's going up towards the top side. Invincible should know this is happening because of those wards, but has to play so far up in this lane. Shallenbauer now finishing his red buff. He can join in on the play. Does Hacker know that he's been spotted? I don't think he does. Goes in Spider Form to try and escape. No Spiderlings. Will keep him safe. Cocoon available. Shallenbauer dodges it.
Yeah, again, that's just one of like pretty much the only overall nuisance of the Elise is those Spiderlings able to absorb that Sonic Whip. Hell, even if like a Shock Blast came through, I guess depending on how close you are, an accelerated Shock Blast would still do quite a bit of damage, but yeah, able to utilize those. Shallenbauer not able to find exactly what he wants, but Hacker, he knows what he wants. And he wants to make an impact in this top lane. Him and Shallenbauer going face to face once again.
They've given up on farming at this point. It's just a duel between the junglers. And Hacker winning out the trade at very least. The red buff in play though means Shallenbauer should have a decent amount of regen. Skeety's going a hook down to the bottom side, but no significant follow-up from Bote. He just wants his minions.
Not going to be able to find anything off this play. But like we said, bot lane, not really the place to watch anyway. None of the cool kids hanging out in the bot lane these days. It's about the Elise where next to Tristana is Pout. Actually putting some pressure on. And that's what we talked about with Tristana's of, you know, sometimes overstaying or overstepping. Care actually taking a turret shot. Going to give Pout a good position in terms of that HP advantage.
Would you say he needs to be a little more careful?
I would say he needs to call his jungler, say, hey, you're a jungler, therefore you are the gank my lane.
Invincible might die as Fairness getting close to his Q. What? Invincible somehow wins out on Fairness.
That made no sense.
I don't know what just
that made no
happened
sense.
in the top side. Hacker now moving down to the bottom lane. Is Draw in all kinds of trouble. Flash available, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. The Cocoon lands, and they'll give the kill over to LWX.
I'm still just kind of in shock of that, top lane.
That was just a strange trade.
It was just so like anticlimactic in terms of how it was built up.
It was like Fairness just kind of stopped hitting him. He just got knocked back and just died.
I love that's going to be the call that's clipped and put on Twitter as well. You know, it's going to be, yeah. I also want to go back in time and say, I don't think junglers are beneath laners. And, you know, let's see how it's going to trade. Here we go. We get to see Fearness slice and dicing in. I mean, get some good damage, and then, yeah, kind of walks forward like he's going to go for the auto. Looks like he clicks back, decides not to, and then just kind of caught in this hodgepodge, which allows for the kiting to come through, as we're going to see here. Joel getting chunked incredibly low, and I mean, just Hacker able to walk through, connects the Cocoon, and makes sure that the kill goes down.
Oh, Hacker caught out there by Joel, but the Spiderlings keeping him safe, couldn't be pulled back in. What a weird game this has been. There was some, I mean, the fact that that gank just stroll in and take yourself a kill without even
like the pacing is very, very weird. It feels like these are things that you would see not amount to kills in like 90% of games.
Yeah.
And here we are, 1-1.
Yeah. But Invincible, very happy with the way that one's going. Has himself a bit of a CS lead. Obviously got that kill before. Will continue to snowball that on. Fairness having to go for this plated steel caps over the top side just to be able to keep himself safe there. Because Care now could be in a compromising position. Shallenbauer in his brush. Hacker moves up to the top side. Fairness attempt number 2 onto the Jace. Can Invincible do it again? Yes, he can! And he dodges the Cocoon! Hacker's 2 levels down. I don't know if Hacker can win this one. Uses the Venomous Bite here. The Repel gets it back into play. Hacker flashes into the brush. Invincible 1v2. Can he find a shock blast? Can he find the miracle shot? The cocoon doesn't land. Full range. And he does it! Invincible! It's exactly that.
Invincible coming in over Rich at the start of the split, and now showing us in these 1v2s why he's here. Beautiful play coming from the Jace.
Is he
but,
trying to execute to the minions? I don't think he can get away with it.
Nope.
Oh, there we go. He goes down. Care takes him in the end.
He did his best.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I guess he must have been TP'd behind or something. No, there was no TPs. How did he get in that spot where he couldn't escape?
Maybe we, oh wait, we're not actually gonna get to see is, we're just gonna get a replay of the 1v2 kill coming through, building up as he gets stunned down, gonna chase through and fall through as his Conqueror gets stacked up, goes for the Q, didn't even need the E there to finish that one off, it was just enough damage. You highlighted the sidestep of the Cocoon, and then here we go. Looks like it was a Q coming out that was just able to equalize that health trade, and now waiting for the cooldowns. Doesn't want to eat bolts, spells coming through, but knows he can at least eat the spider. Because we actually have some action going on in bot lane.
Yeah, arrow lands, Jojo in all kinds of trouble. Already down, Drop finding that one. His LWX stacked up, might just be able to turn this one around. Votic forced to flash. LWX doesn't follow it, and in the meantime, Charlotte Bao finding fairness, but won't be able to commit to anything. A close one in the bottom side for Votic. If he has his W available, perhaps could look for LWX under the tower here.
All of this coming about while FPX's top side were at least guaranteeing themselves a Rift Herald. Is it going to stop the invade from coming through because Care still coming from base?
Charlotte Bao going for the blue buff. And Hacker will have to back away. Got Herald in the meantime. Let's take another look at what actually happened here.
Ooh, actually goes right next to him. Gets the auto out to get the stun on through. Nice chain CC there. As Shosho trying to play right next to his AD carry to potentially block some of the CC. And just ends up sending him to his downfall.
I like what you did there. Chain CC, because it was the chain of corruption after Nautilus hit him with the anchor on the end of the chain. Like, good bit of wordplay there, Lyric. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, you know.
Definitely intentional.
Now, we need to keep our eyes on what intention FPX have with this Rift Hill. Where do they go? Who do they want to give the money to? Because when we look at the lanes, they haven't like, I guess mid they've been able to maintain some pressure, so that would be where your mind kind of jumps to of an easy area. Both top and a little bit so bot. Bot looks like they've gotten one play, but haven't really been able to maintain push in those lanes.
Oh, Care, good flash, keeps himself alive, dodges Sonic Wave.
Sidestep.
Yeah, well played by Kev. The kick goes in. Shalabao doesn't quite connect to the target though. Shalabao about to go down. K gets the reset, zips away and keeps himself alive. Hacker looking for more. Onto Pout here. No flash available for Pout. The laser comes out from LWX to grab himself a bonus kill.
And now that the Rift Herald that they can drop in mid lane, get even more gold onto Care. And I would have been so frustrated if Care went down after how much he dodged out, how he flashed away, used the ultimate. All really just well played by him. Gold well earned. His Chin's corruption.
Yeah, answered immediately by the lightning crash of LWX. Hacker into the lane to all the targets. Cocoon will be available. It lands. The damage is there. And it's a huge Zeri from LWX. It's a huge Tristana from Care. And it's a huge lead for FPX.
Yeah, FPX 3K gold in advantage. Again, setting themselves up for potentially another win in the split. We're going to see here Care getting hit by the E-Flash. Cass comes out really like, you need to be so on point to time that perfectly, sidesteps the Sonic Wave, and then doing a nice job to kite them out. Ult comes out immediately. That's the most impressive thing in these plays, right? It's just how quickly he is able to react once, you know, he is not CC'd or once someone jumps in. Great reaction timings.
Yeah, reaction timings and also the presence of mind to flash, not even necessarily towards your jungler, but on the right side of the play to get to your jungler. Not like if he flashes towards the tower, he can dodge the barrel, but he's straight into shallow back.
I like that you say this as well, because a lot of times in League of Legends, it's not even just about reaction times. Like, it's about anticipating this stuff and like knowing what your champion's doing, what play they're looking for, so you can be able to do that. It's a lot about that presence of mind.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff coming out from Care. He's had an impressive series today. Absolutely dominating in game number 1 and now looking good in the Tristana for game 2 as well. Kraken Slayer already finished. 30 stacks left on his cull. He's feeling good about how this one's going. NIP did get the first Drake for themselves, but the next one's spawning in 30 seconds. I don't think they're going to have a look in.
No. Oh, Pow and Care going to meet up.
Pow is maybe doomed on this one as Care just keeps this rolling. Ult available.
Oh!
Jumps in, gets the reset, jumps out, and Pow is being schooled in the mid lane as Care dodges yet another Q.
I love how he shows no emotion as he just does that, dodges out on the Sonic Wave, and walks out, building this lead even further. I love how FPX have been playing this like early mid game. I do want us to bear in mind the fact that even if NIP fall behind, I don't think they're ever out. They have a ton of range to play with. And I mean, look at FPX's comp. Like, really nothing they can do, you know, when arrows and accelerated shock blasts are just flying in their face.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on FPX to be able to keep this up, to start moving Care around the map, and I really think breaking structures down.
Yeah, and they're doing exactly that as Care TPs to the top side to try and contest this Jace. Pow moving into the mid lane. I mean, well, moving into the jungle, I suppose, but no idea that Care was there.
Even just the perfect time of the rocket jump. As wait, we have a 2v2 kill in bot lane. Zeri.
Oh, wow. Okay. LWX down. That's kind of a big deal. He had a shutdown, I believe.
You know, we've had a lot in this series of like the action where we are in a replay and these teams, these teams not wanting to take their foot off the gas pedal. Nice response by NIP as well. They've needed something, starting to give over kills to FPX without being able to find trades in return.
Good little trade from Invincible onto Care there, not giving him the opportunity to respond in kind with damage of his own. And it feels like FPX, like you say, a small advantage for themselves, 2,000 gold at this point, but it's not enough where they can just, you know, put everything on cruise control and slowly win the game. They still have to be on their best foot here as the replay in the bottom right. I mean, LWX just...
Photic playing in the brush.
Yeah.
Nice by him to set up the trap play for LWX and, I mean, hit the chains of corruption, right? That misses. That play potentially doesn't go on through, but now here we are, second Herald spawning. You can see FPX have already allocated members up here. And when you look at both top laners, Invincible, no TP, but Fearness does have his available. So FPX should be feeling pretty confident about looking for this one, which is why NIP are actually looking to punish Fearness in the bottom lane.
Fearness not leaving the tower here. Dominus available, pops it immediately to try and keep himself alive. The CC chain is just too much for him. Taken down, couldn't even get his Q off the healing, because just permanently stunned.
Yeah, I mean, the kick coming on through into the hook. Joel didn't even need to use his ult either. Just enough burst damage coming off those first 2 bits of CC to be able to make sure that one goes through. So at least NIP will be able to answer this turret in bottom lane that FPX were just able to find. Looks like FPX might even still be staying around to keep more pressure out.
They've got Herald. They're going to look for a tier 2 here. They might not even need Herald to get the tier 2. So NIP, sure, you do get a kill and a tower in the bottom side, but it's traded for 2 towers on that top side. Fearless TPing in just to defend his tier 2 tower. Will keep it alive for the time being as Invincible trying to put that pressure on.
Yeah, utilizing TP from base, so having a lot of value in NIP not trying to equalize that gold lead, because talking about gold, 2 items on Care now. Bloodthirster picked up, and I mean, ever since the buffs came through for it, we've seen how much everyone has loved it. Pretty much, it's almost universally becoming like second item on so many of these like early marksman champions. And now Care going to be able to not only sustain, but also still keep up that demolition service that I feel like Tristana always brings to the Rift.
Yeah, it's like Tristana, Ziggs, and Caitlyn. The 3 demolishers in the game, right? They just absolutely shred towers. And Care certainly bringing that to the bottom lane now. He did mid lane. He's done top lane. Time for this bot lane tier 1. And you can see Hacker immediately moves over to support the play. Jojo here trying to get vision as good cocoon, but no follow-up. But 4 people answering from NIP. And now a TP up towards the top side. I think NIP realizing they can't actually protect this tower.
No, and I want us to go back to items just to hone in on, like, we highlighted Care having 2, so whole item up over his opposition, but Photic is the same. Photic having the Ginsus. He's a full item up over LWX. So teams really have just gotten and found, you know, their gold in different places so far.
Yeah. This might be another tower if Care can get some autos in. Won't happen though to demolish the bomb, sorry. Not going to be able to finish the tower off, but not far off. More autos on the next wave would do the job. It's just whether or not you can risk sticking around. Pow might be being too confident in the bottom side. Has to dash away, and that'll be the end of the tower. So another tier 2 taken by FPX. If there's one thing this team is doing well, it's snowballing off their really lead.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of also knowing what their comp's strong at, playing for the sieges on these turrets. They once again have a composition that can do a pretty fast Baron if they could ever get into a position where they can hoodwink NIP into being on that bottom half of the map. So I'm very interested to see how, if FPX can continue this momentum and keep recreating some of the things that they did very well in game number 1.
Yeah, it would be impressive if they could do it. Just 2 games back-to-back like that. LWX, Shield Bow, and now a Phantom Dancer finished off as well. Zeri getting close to coming online, just needs that Infinity Edge to really start hammering home. But NIP, off the back of the resets from FPX, should be able to get themselves their second Drake. It's only going to be that Cloud Drake, so not the end of the world for FPX, but a good little pickup for NIP nonetheless. Any objective is going to be very much well received on the side of NIP at this point.
Still should have a decent time trying to turtle and deny any plays from coming down. It's not like FPX. Like, FPX have great siege, but at the same time, NIP have wave clear, NIP have ways to prevent them from coming onto these structures unless they're able to use, like, tempo and a turn to be able to get there first. So for NIP now, I think it's about trying to get a defensive vision line down, try and be able to actually take some of your own jungle camps, not allow the siege to go through, and again, buy time for that damage to come out, especially from Invincible. He really is the key player I'm looking at for NIP, not only because of his kills, but again, just any champion on the side of FPX, if they take an accelerated shock blast, will be happy.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that Invincible has been playing so well on this game, like, you can have faith that he's going to find those shock blasts, and it's what the response will be from FPX. The one thing I will say is, with now that Bloodthirster and the Shield Bow for LWX and Care, if they tank the blasts, like Lulu Shield's coming in, the lifesteal coming in, maybe they can just sustain. It's just if you're in a standoff in River, Drake's not up yet, it's nothing to lifesteal off.
Yeah, I think especially at this point where, you know, we haven't gotten like Sorelda's Grudge or any of those territories, they'll definitely be able to just be able to eat those. It's just the game goes later, and like you're saying, like where it's happening. Even if it happens in jungle, we saw last game where it's like, oh, my Gromp's gone, my Wolves are gone, like where do I go? You have to go lifesteal off the objective that you want to fight over, and that could potentially put you in a situation where, you know, the enemy team now has engage angles or more poke angles or whatever it is. So yeah, keeping our eyes on Invincible. We know for FPX, we've highlighted it has been Care that we are watching. As with Baron up now, I wonder how confident FPX are of maybe not even rushing it, but just trying to bait in front of it, since I feel like they are still the comp that feels a little bit more pressure on their shoulders. Again, sure, LWX and Care will be huge damage-wise the later the game goes on, but I want to see how they do in these extended standoffs.
Care, speaking of him, almost caught there, but has a blast cone now. Will keep himself safe. NIP will not lose a 20-minute Baron twice in a row. This time fully aware of the situation, fully aware of that part of the map. Scuttle Crab to keep vision on the area. Fairness. Pressuring in the bottom side. And now is the point, I think, in the game where FPX is like, okay, how do you keep the pressure up? What do you do to pull them apart so you can continue to pressure onto these towers? Because we talked about Elise earlier, doesn't do so hot in the late game. The Renekton as well, one of those champions that, you know, can influence the game later on, but not exactly known for that being his strength. It's like, does this composition just start to stall out if they can't keep the ball rolling?
I think they're finally just starting to realize what they need to do, which is utilize Care more in sides and trying to rotate burst and like find maybe a fast collapse on mid lane. If Gragas ever oversteps answering the Tristana, well, you have the Elise, you can like kind of play her in between and find the pick, but Tristana definitely gonna be able to push those waves in a lot faster and have Gragas on the back foot.
Coon landed, but that's a hook onto Chocho. Wild Growth immediately used, but Chocho should go down in. No flash down the top side of the fight. Shalabao sacrifices his own life to finish the kill on the enemy support. That's a shock blast and a half onto LWX. It's not enough from NIP with the jungler down.
I mean, overall in favor of FPX is trading support for jungle, but this is what we were hitting on. The extended standoffs where NIP's comp just feels like it will be able to do more. That one accelerated shock blast really is a bit of a game changer here in terms of what FPX will be able to look at. So our NIP going to be able to hold strong, keep pressuring, and now they'll manage to be able to pick up their own jungle camps, which we saw for a little bit being choked down from FPX, well, by the side of FPX.
Let's take a look as you can see Shalabao tried to check it earlier with the Sonic Wave. It was dodged. Couldn't land, but then this put controls.
Oh, wait, Munch. I actually don't care about this replay because we do have a Baron going on. With Baron going on by FPX, and it doesn't look like it's answered.
They just two-man Baron.
They do it again. They do it again.
Care and Hacker just two-man Baron. And NIP had no idea that it was going on. Once again, FPX just absolute heist on the top side of the map. Drake coming up in 20 seconds, but I mean, if I'm FPX, I don't care about the Drake. Just start pushing towards inhib.
I just imagine NIP and Baron having a really bad breakup. NIP have the emo fringe right now. They're sitting in their room. They're listening to some like Thursday or First EP, My Chemical Romance or something, and they will not go back to Baron first. They don't want to even remember Baron.
No.
They won't watch the movies. They watch.
If Baron wants to be part of NIP's team, then Baron has to come to them.
Exactly.
Okay? Drake coming up though. 7,000 on the health bar, and FPX not going to give this one up without a fight. Not playing towards the lanes here. They want the objective. Fairness trying to move forward, trying to tank up for his squad as the shock blast goes wide, the laser goes wide. Skill shots galore, but it's FPX forcing NIP away. Sonic Wave there, Shalabao as the dragon resets a hook onto Fairness. He jumps into the Gordrick and keeps himself alive. LWX over the wall, finds one, it's two on the side of NIP though, but LWX is stacking on up and he wants more. Drake taken regardless of the picks, and now Pout Photic corralled in. 3v4, but somehow it feels like FPX have the advantage.
I honestly feel like NIP, I just don't know if they didn't realize waiting for that ult to time out because they definitely should be able to win.
Invincible, that bomb is going to do a lot of damage. Needs to stay away from Photic there. Invincible 1 HP, but walks away with his life.
Like, had NIP just turned, hit a hook onto LWX, he would just be dead.
Yeah. Care try to pressure. This is such a weird situation, but FPX not going to go down without a fight. Invincible! The wild growth across the team. What a play from FPX! They take NIP apart. LWX picked out of the base, but it doesn't matter. Just Care got the resets. 4 kills in a 3v5.
That was honestly one of the best plays we've seen this year. Just the confidence to 2 members, 2 marksmen, 2 AD carries, jump into 4 members of NIP. They're going to take an inhib. They have a wave on bot. They're just going to be able to keep demolishing the base of NIP.
I mean, LWX literally putting his body on the line, jumping in, using the wild growth from Chocho to knock up the whole squad, find those kills. Mid inhib down, they decide against over pushing in the bottom side because everyone respawning now for NIP, but yeah, I mean, just watch this slow-mo and take in the glory.
I feel like there's no words that can do this justice. Yeah, his body on the line, Care actually jumped in first, but LWX is timing it right and then going with the knockup, like you said, with the wild growth. I love it. I love the confidence. I love that they can like read the angles. They know they have the amount of burst necessary to be able to do it. Yeah. And then like the health bars were low enough for the members of NIP. Because I believe it was Pout who was on like 20% of his HP. It looked like Joao was like 60%. It's like, sure, it doesn't even matter if like people like Photic still are quite healthy. We have enough burst to take out these members first, and then we have a numbers advantage.
Yeah. Oh, kick onto Fairness here. Could be in trouble. Is the Renekton, so has a bit of sustain as he's kicked back and will be taken down, but it took them so long to bring him down that the lightning is in tow now. Photic with a bomb on his head surely falls, and the resets are there. Pout next on the chopping block. A triple for LWX as FPX doing a victory lap in the base here. Invincible retreats to Fountain. But will FPX let him live? I'm not so sure that they will. LWX over the Nexus. In comes Care as well. And the unofficial Quadra comes on through. FPX dominate NIP.
Great to see Chocho, who's only recently joined the team, come in. And now FPX be able to pick up another win. FPX now 2 series wins on the board. Care looking incredibly hyped. LWX looking really good. And somehow FPX mostly looking unfazed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you've got a lead like that in the early game when you're mid laner, you're expecting the win. But even still, like, I feel like we're more excited about that win than they are.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, right, we were talking about how one of NIP's ways to come back in would be like extended standoffs and utilizing things like the accelerated shock blast. I love that FPX, I mean, FPX, we were talking about full send teams earlier, are apparently one of them. They're not even going to give like a chance for an extended standoff. No. They went through the one in mid lane, and they're like, oh, you know, our Zeri's getting half HP'd. We don't like this. And then ever since then, it was like, you know, just both of us jump in, and we make it work.
And I love that it was like, you know, it's terrifying when the enemy AD carry is fed. How about when they've got two fed AD carries that are both willing to just jump at you and start wrecking people? And then with the Lulu mixed in there as well to keep them safe. Like, felt so difficult to play
against. They didn't even really have a front line because, I mean, again, no shade to Fearness, but kind of like he did not really have a great game. He got punished early on, and with getting set behind, right, as Renekton, he was never able to find a way back into the game. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, Care and LWX with Chocho, that was all they had to rely on. Hacker had a good game, not to diminish from him, but just once we got to the mid and late game, that's where it really just had to be these two AD carries believing in themselves and believing in Chocho.
Yeah. You got to feel for Invincible in this one. He had such an insane game. The 2v1 coming out from him, multiple solo kills, like. But unfortunately, the rest of the map sort of falling apart a little bit, and it meant he could not take over. Fantastic stuff, though, coming out from FPX. And great to see that even after NIP go, okay, game number 1, you've got a 20-minute Baron against us. So they focus around Baron at 20 minutes. And then FPX are like, oh, is the Scuttle Crab gone? Cool, we'll go to a 22-minute Baron instead.
Yeah, and now Care going to be the one to pick up our MVP. Not too surprising, honestly. I guess whether it was him or LWX, who knows, but being on the Tristana, I feel like you typically are the one to kind of start the flashy plays and really get things going for your team. He just did a tremendous series. Honestly, Care coming into the LPL has just been one of the best things to be able to get to watch, and like one of the greatest players to follow over these past 2 years.
Yeah, I feel like him and UCal are kind of on a similar trajectory where they've started it. Like, UCal had a really bad first split and then suddenly came alive and started winning. Care's been, like, gradually going up, and now they're both these, like, up-and-coming mid laners.
I was going to say, I feel like it's different, though, because Care feels like consistent pace. UCal went from, like, okay, obviously UCal was a stud back in the day in the LCK, right? But coming in to the LPL, not really having the greatest debut, and then going from, like, here to, like, oh, yeah, I used to be an all-star mid laner. Back to up here.
Yeah, but I feel like they're now at the same point of, like, challenging some of the big names, like trying to fight their way into the...
I feel like you're disrespecting UCal a bit.
Oh, really? Okay, well, fair enough. UCal, greatest mid laner of all time. Care,
there we go.
Piece of dirt on the floor. I apologize to anyone who misconstrued my earlier words. You just misunderstood them. It wasn't anything I said. FPX, though, second win on the board now. I mean, I can understand why the players come on the stage not looking too elated, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you still got 9 losses. It's still very unlikely that this team makes playoffs.
It's like you can hit 7, theoretically, but even like looking at their schedule, I know they still have Weibo left. Oh, actually, no, they don't.
They've got EDG and top esports,
okay,
though.
so, yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for FPX. Well, that's it from us today. Let's take a look at our results as we wind things down, because we've had some pretty crazy games today, honestly. We had some wacky stuff in the second series, that is for sure. IG kind of dominating Ultra Prime to start us off, but OMG, massive upset.
You know, if you would have told anyone these last 2 series will be 5 games, like, what's going to happen? No one would have predicted this way whatsoever. 2 upsets on the board, but you're right, OMG, I feel like being the stars and being the highlight of the day, just doing a great job, out team fighting JDG every step of the way.
Yeah, outplaying them on the map later on as well. It felt like OMG fully in control towards the end of Game 3. Fantastic to watch. And now, 7th place in the standings for OMG. A huge moment for this squad, and could be an argument for them pushing their way into that top 6 and skipping an extra round of playoffs would be massive for them. EDG still sitting pretty on that top spot, but plenty more coming. This should have been JDG snagging that first place spot, but taken down by OMG.
Taken down to 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough. As tomorrow, I wonder if we have any of these top teams playing. you know, could pull up the schedule here, but I know they're going to pull it up for us. Is TT against RA. That will be an incredibly important one. I think especially for TT, who have shown signs of brilliance, trying to cement themselves as one of those teams who, again, kind of fighting for a similar place as OMG. RA, they're close. They're just trying to break their way into being one of these playoff contending teams. Yeah. Pretty much that second matchup is very much the same of like, you are fighting to hold on to be a top 10 team in the league.
Yeah, all four of those teams, honestly, like,
yeah,
I feel like are in a fairly similar position where obviously we've seen different levels of play from each of them, but in a similar place in the standings where every single win is going to count. And if you can chain
maybe
enough
the most important day of like 4 playoffs, like one of the most important days we have going forward.
Yeah, certainly for these teams. We'll see how that's all going to go tomorrow. We'll definitely be in chat, and we hope to see you there too. But until then, we'll see you in Champ Select.